Yo, let's see who we got. Making $4,000 a month and no album. What happened to Bow Wow on Cash Money? Yeah, some people forget Bow was on Cash Money. I didn't because I'm a music head, so I remember all these type of things. I damn near remember everybody who was on Cash Money. I'm a big Cash Money fan. But let's see what they were talking about. Because I could have sworn they was lying that Bow Wow said that just because he was trying not to pay child support in court or some shit like that. And he told the judge he only made $4,000 a month. But I'm pretty sure that was a lie. I don't know. Let's see though.
Wizzle, live in the studio. I'm about to check out a behind the scenes look.
He didn't even fit on
my
Cash
first
Money.
session.
Can't remember one song he made on Cash Money. He
Cash
made no
Money,
hits.
brother.
His home is with JD and So Duff. So Duff, he made the most hits with JD, man. Anybody who worked with JD really fucking went number one. Mariah Carey, Usher, fucking franchise boys, nigga.
Homie Lil Wayne.
Jagged
Me and
Edge,
Weezy in the studio getting
I want to
poppin',
work
man,
with
working
JD.
on my eighth
Real
album.
talk. I would love to work
Told
with
y'all,
Jermaine
man,
Dupri.
underrated, man. What's coming?
What up, guys? Ali. And don't forget to Birdman was having one of his greatest years in music. He dropped his Priceless album, a project that contains two of my favorite jams of that year, Money to Blow and For My Town. The album wasn't a massive success. It came in at about 34,000 copies in the first week and peaked at number 33 on the Billboard 200. Despite the numbers, Priceless
really
represented a time when Young
album.
Money Cash Money dominated the airwaves. Thanks to the buzz Lil Wayne had acquired, the public's interest in Birdman and his label was at an all-time high. You couldn't escape Young Money Cash.
Now, everybody wanted to sign the Cash Money because of the Nicki and Drake thing. You know what I'm saying? Once they went so big and then Wayne was the biggest artist in the world, so nigga like, shit, fucking right, I want to sign to Wayne.
Money in that
But Bird was going to always have his hand in the jar.
year. They were everywhere. I'm telling you, they were everywhere.
Take yourself a picture when I'm standing
I remember this era,
and I
boy.
swear it's going down. I'm just repping for my town.
Naturally, other artists started to notice that YMCMB was
on
winning
that bitch,
and
Mystical.
believed that they could revitalize their swaying careers by signing to the label. One artist who tried to do
Can't
just
remember one
this
song
was
Busta
none
Rhymes
other
did
than
on Cash
Shad Moss himself, Bow Wizzle. Around 2009,
remember
Bow
that
Wow's
lame-ass
sound was
video.
still in the evolving phase. It was becoming more mature and featured more violent themes. Everybody knows that Bow Wow had a clean image when he was a kid. His lyrics didn't generally lean towards the gangster side of things, as he mostly catered to the female demographic. So when Bow Wow's image changed, it confused a lot of the public. Yes, Bow Wow had to get older.
That's what it was. He didn't want to be looked at like Lil Romeo. He looked at Lil Romeo like a square, a lame, a sucker. He was like, man, I ain't that. I'm a badass kid. I don't want to be looked at like that. And I feel
as
it.
we all do, but Bow Wow's
That's why Wayne separated himself from everybody, because he didn't want to be looked at like them. He didn't want to be looked at like a Bow Wow or a Lil Wayne or a Lil Zane or all the Lils. He didn't want to be looked at like them. So he like, let me separate myself and become the big dog. You hear me? I'm the big dog out of all the Lils.
image changed as he matured, leaving a lot of his day one's fans thinking, this isn't the Bow Wow that I grew up listening to. In that same year, Bow Wow dropped an album called New Jack City 2. The project made it number 16 on the
called it that?
Billboard 200 and sold about 31,000 copies in the first week. This was Bow Wow's first studio album to feature a parental advisory sticker, signifying Bow's transition from child to adult rapper. During this time, Bow Wow didn't
I
know what
believe
would
he left and went back to Jermaine Dupri and then made some bangers with Omarion and the Sierras and all of them right after that.
become of his career. He was going through a tough
that
time.
probably was
He didn't know
before
whether
his
to
song.
focus on
My
acting
timeline is messed
or
up.
pursue a rap career. He announced his departure from rap music as a whole earlier that year, only to change his mind later on. On August 16th, Bow Wow tweeted, "It's official, I'm a cash money millionaire." That was the beginning of his cash money run. Now, Bow Wow and Jermaine Dupri have always maintained a great relationship with Cash Money throughout the years, leading to a few dope collaborations.
always did
So
fuck
Bow
with
Wow
Birdman.
signing to Cash Money did not require much thought on the side of Birdman.
First song he had wrote that he finally started writing for himself was that song he was riding with Birdman in the car. I forgot.
We
how it
had
went,
two
but,
sit downs. Upon the first sit down, I called Birdman and told him what I wanted to do, so it was a no-brainer. He was like, "Bow, you always been family. Next to Wayne, I look at you like my son.
This nigga called
finna
everybody
JD.
his son.
You with us, playboy? From there, it was a done deal. So I want to thank him, Slim, and Wayne. We all want to win. And in order to do that, we have to cover all bases. With me coming to
And I
Cash
wonder where it went wrong, because far as my knowledge, they be all saying, Birdman, let y'all do what you want to do far as music-wise and da-da-da-da-da. So I don't really see Birdman stopping a nigga music from coming out, you know what I'm saying? So I see, like, all you had to do was drop, you know what I'm saying? Make some music, drop, see which ones take you where it's supposed
Money,
to take you.
I bring something to the table that
took you
hasn't
nowhere.
been there in their history.
What?
I bring the whole Hollywood side from that perspective.
I
So
guess.
Bow Wow managed to drop a few songs with Cash Money. However, most people would agree that they expected more hits from Bow Wow when he was signed to Cash Money. So the question is, what happened to Bow Wow on Cash Money Records?
My fans been waiting to see. You know, me and Wayne in the studio. Me with my Cash
Nobody
Money
been waiting for
family,
that.
getting it in. You know, I've been doing so many movies the past year and a half, 2 years. I haven't really had time to get it in with my squad. You know what I mean? Wayne just got off tour, so you know, I'm fresh from Medea. You know, now's the perfect
That nigga
time.
ain't even feel confident
No.
saying it. I'm fresh from Medea.
As mentioned earlier, when Birdman dropped Priceless, it was a great time for YMCMB. Wayne and Drake had amazing verses on this project, and the Bun B verse on Mo Milli is severely underrated. Everybody knows Money to Blow and For My Town, but Mo Milli is another underrated track on this project. Drake and Bun B straight murder this joint.
Thought he said
You're now fucking with the most
shit, that nigga
requested.
say Bun
The
B.
young nigga that everybody
But I
is
thought
so
he said Bun
obsessed
B on
with.
the Millie
Now, why am I
track.
talking about this album? Well, because Bow Wow was nowhere to be found on this project. Wasn't he Cash Money? If so, why wasn't he on one of the biggest Cash Money projects to drop in that year? Bow Wow signed to Cash Money around August of 2009. This album came out in November of that year. So Bow Wow clearly had enough time to submit a verse or two for the album. Is this your typical situation where the verse was so bad that it got left off the album? Or was Birdman thinking to himself that, yo, I'm not putting Bow Wizzo on my album because it's not a good look for me? If
don't
Bow Wow
fit.
appeared on
It
that
don't fit,
album,
really.
as well as other Cash Money projects that came out, the public might have taken his Cash Money run more seriously.
Bird
After
didn't
Bow
put
Wow
Lil
signed to
Twist and
Cash
Lil
Money,
Chucky on his
it was
albums
time for
and
him
his
to
songs.
show and
That
prove.
was Wayne thing.
He dropped a couple of singles. Ain't Thinking About You featuring Chris Brown, I'm the Man featuring Chris again, and another more prominent single featuring the Young Money boss himself, Lil Wayne. I'm talking about Sweat.
Boom, let
None of them
it out
bitches
now.
sound similar.
Yeah, freaks. Poppin' by. It's my little brother.
Now, Sweat came
That's
out
the
around
same bullshit
2011.
Omarion did when Omarion came signed to Cash Money and he made bullshit songs like that. That shit sound horrible.
That's years after he signed to Cash Money. Sweat was a decent effort to recapture the popularity that Bow Wow once had. Like all his previous efforts, it had been released as a single. However, after the song came out, Bow Wow and his camp said the song was nothing more than a promo for the underrated album. After teasing his fans with multiple promo singles, Bow Wow eventually decided to drop some tracks and not call them promo singles when they flopped. He dropped Better featuring T-Pain and another song called We in the Club, produced by DJ Mustard.
I remember
Even though
Better.
these songs made it to the 106 and Park charts, the Billboard charts were nowhere in sight.
They know ya because they know you bad. Must be doing something right if you got these bitches mad.
Bow Wow
Yeah,
did
you
drop
need
a
to
couple
stick
of
to his little
mixtapes with
singing
Cash
vibe
Money.
thing.
I'm Better Than You
R&B
came
shit.
out around 2011, whereas his Greenlight 5 mixtape came out around 2013. Now let's go back to 2009 for a second. Now after joining Cash Money, Bow Wow was very sure that his album was gonna come out around November of that same year. To make sure he dropped a dope project, Bow Wow enlisted the likes of D-Block's Jadakiss to help him with the album. I have Jadakiss on board. Me and Jada, we're gonna complete my whole entire album. I got
Jada gonna
Jada as
write
the
your whole
ambassador of my album. I did that because I wanted somebody who was well respected in hip hop to challenge me.
Nigga,
It's coming.
you did
Tell me,
that so
I'm hard at work right now,
Jada
man.
could give you
Just
pointers
putting in
and
that
help
work,
you
man.
write the
Took,
song.
took half of the month off. I did 3 tours. Now I'm back.
Jada, my nigga, I fucks with Jada tough, but Jada don't go number one. You know what I'm saying? Jada don't make hit singles. He just known as that rapper who you go to when you want them bars and you want to fire your verse. But
back in the lab getting it in, so you already know what time it is, man. I'm back at it, man, from the box office.
We want the number one, you gotta go to JD.
The grind never stops.
Jermaine Dupri, bro.
Check this shit out. Homie Rico behind the camera, so you know it's official.
Back
Cash
in the day, JD, Jazzy Faye.
Roll that motherfucker.
Naturally, Bow Wow's album suffered multiple delays,
Birdman
and after the first one,
hits,
he went onto Twitter to talk about his disappointment and inform the fans of his situation. Letter to my fans. What up though? Me working hard as ever on this underrated album. So how do I say this without making my fans somewhat a little upset? Well, I guess I can't, right? But nah, on the real. I'm happy to announce the last and final release date on Underrated. New date will be December 2nd. Reason being is mixing plus clearances for the records. Typical business shit, no biggie. This album is more important to me than anything. For the last 2 years, I have been working on this album since the day I signed. Even while working on Lottery Ticket and but for y'all as well. The album was supposed to come out around 2009. The constant delays eventually annoyed Bow Wow to a point where he went on Twitter to vent, writing, "Fuck that album." This was around 2013. He also went on to say that he's doing everything on his own. Now, about a month later, Bow Wow and Cash Money kissed and made up, and Bow Wow announced that he was still planning to release his album Underrated through the label. I'm in Cash Money Records, a place I wanted to sign with. Now I am at peace. And when peace is in my life, I am at best. That's when it's real scary for my competition, because then I feel I am invincible. Now Bow Wow got to release a track list for his Underrated album. And from the looks of the names on this album, it looks like Bow Wow was going all out, enlisting the likes of Wiz Khalifa, Chris Brown, and Busta Rhymes, amongst others. Now you can look at this track list and tell that it was going to feature a lot of 808s. Cardiac is on this, Jalil Beats, Arab Music. No ID makes a lot of boom bap beats. So I'm pretty sure track 13, If You Were Down, featuring Talib Kweli, was going to be very introspective. Other rumors suggested that Drake was going to be on this album. According to Bow Wow, Underrated was supposed to be his final studio album ever. So he wanted to make sure that he takes his time with it. It's been years. I know I've been saying that I was going to put it out, and people are making jokes like, this is detox. But I'm really going to put it out. I'm going to close my career with the album. That's going to be the last one. I always said by the time I'm 30, I don't want to rap anymore. Now around 2013, Bow Wow revealed the reason why his album did not come out with Cash Money. According to the man, he was too focused on raising his daughter to commit to the Underrated album. Now I don't buy this excuse. I believe that if his singles had taken off, and if he dropped a successful album with Cash Money, he would be singing a different tune. To put it bluntly, his album didn't come out because his singles were not hitting. Around this time, Bow Wow started going by Shad Moss and said that he was about to change the direction that his career was going in. Now the Shad Moss thing did not really catch on. It was difficult for the fans to call him Shad Moss after calling him Little Bow Wow and then just Bow Wow for a minute. It might have helped his acting career, but
shit, he was happy nigga took off the Lil. I mean, he should have been happy nigga took off the Lil and left it to just Bow Wow instead of Little Bow Wow.
Another story. Now around 2012, we got a real glimpse into how much Cash Money artists are actually paid. During that year, Bow Wow's baby mother took him to court. She wanted to determine how much money he had in order to increase his child support payments. During this trial, Bow Wow claimed to be broke and made a startling revelation. He only made a mere $4,000 a month from Cash Money Records. Now, most of us assumed Bow Wow was making at least $50K a month from his Cash Money endeavors. Bow Wow never misses an opportunity to stunt. So when the public heard he was broke and that he was only making about $4,000 a month from Cash Money, they were like,
I don't think that includes shows or merch or anything like that. That's just probably what he get paid just for being signed on the label.
Like, damn, Bow Wow's life is fabricated. He doesn't own all the cars that he shows off. the jewelry, some of it might be fake. In fact, all of it might be fake. Bow Wow was not living the life that he was showing the public. But he gets a pass because he kissed Tyra Banks on national TV.
And we know that
saying.
he made money. He got something, you know what I'm saying? He just like the stunt too hard. Above your means. You ain't private jet, but you probably right under it.
Now, because Bow Wow did not have the funds to allow a substantial increase in child support payments, his baby mama was only able to clinch about $3,000 a month in child support. Now around 2015, Bow Wow's time on Cash Money Records was coming to an end. He started dropping less music than ever.
But that was just a whole play just so he don't have to pay that much in child support.
Fans began to notice. In the same year, he officially announced his departure from Cash Money. I got so much respect for Birdman, a lot of respect. This is a man who took a risk on signing me. Not only that, but a person who opened up his space to me. I never had other issues that a lot of other artists are having. I never had that with him. Bow Wow also expressed his frustration with dealing with labels. I want to dictate when my music comes out. I'm tired of going to the studio to make records and then I listen to them, cause then they get old. Then when y'all ask for new music, I don't want to hear it cause I've been listening to it for 2 or 3 months. I just can't be.
That's our problem as an artist though. It's old to us for 2 or 3 months, but ain't nobody heard it, then it ain't old. Unless you put an old vibe to it and you made it dated to where a nigga could tell you made this in 09 because he was talking about this, he was talking about that. But other than that, if you just make a good song that's not dated, that bitch can last forever.
Held up by anybody, it's as simple as.
They got old Tupac songs I can still listen to this day. Old Jesus songs I can listen to this day. You know what I'm saying?
What's that? Really I got a daughter, excuse. I got a family, I gotta provide for. After about 6 years on Cash Money Records, Bow Wow was finally on to the next chapter in his life. However, one can only imagine what would have happened to his career if he got that Drake feature. I'm just saying.
Oh, Drake's so fucking wrote him. A little Twist. What's the thing compared to Twist now? You gonna see Lil Twist now. This nigga look, rap, and act just like Lil Wayne. And that's what happens from being under Wayne for so fucking long. We thought that's what was gonna happen to Lil Chuckit, but Chuckit, he left eventually. But Twist is like a Lil Wayne mini me copy, but his bars is not all the way up to par. You know what I'm saying? But he rapping sounds like not the same bars.
The one he grabbed for Christmas.
Yeah.
No.
Wayne with the full head of hell.
Yeah, man, talking about the body's
Young
watches.
Wayne, full head of hell.
You know, you work hard, you play hard.
G-Shock.
In conclusion, Bow Wow came up in a time when boom bap beats were the norm in hip hop. He had been in the game for a minute. He was the kid rapper who rapped about girls, starred in Like Mike, and tiptoed his way into Ciara's music video when she was in her prime. The point I'm trying to make is by the time Bow Wow joined Cash Money Records, we already knew Bow Wow's story because he essentially grew up right before our very eyes. Another major reason why Bow Wow didn't take off on Cash Money is because his singles weren't making any noise. He dropped a few singles to test the waters. Songs like Sweat come to mind. However, despite his best efforts, Bow Wow could not make a hit with Cash Money Records, and I'm sure the label was like, nah. All the big singles. Even though Bow Wow signed to Cash Money around 2009, it's almost like he missed the YMCMB wave entirely. It's almost like he was not a part of it because he didn't get a chance to drop a solo studio album.
I assume he wanted to do everything on his own, pick the beats and do this and that and write and that shit. Nah, man, you gotta have them writers with you. You gotta let somebody else pick some beats for you. Something
with the label. Now, even though Bow Wow is not Cash Money anymore,
he couldn't have been signed to Cash Money and still work with Jermaine Dupri. That wouldn't have been an option. That could have been dope.
Bow Wow is still
Jazzy Faye,
finding numerous ways to entertain his fans.
All London on the track. Like, what beats, what producers was he working with? What fucking beats was he picking?
And to this day, he moved away from music in the end and still provides us with great moments that we can laugh about. But I won't lie, Bow Wow did not fit in Cash Money.
Yeah, that was the whole moral.
Maybe that's why he didn't get that Drake feature.
But when it came to that verses, he smoked, who he went against? Soulja Boy. Like, Bow Wow got hits, and he got good stage presence when it come to performing. Since he was young to now, that nigga could perform his ass off.
Hey, yo, check it, man. For
Gotta respect a
get up out of here and go to this audition. I know everybody going crazy on the internet. I know y'all seen the news. Let me just say this first. Before, because y'all know how the media do, y'all. They always like to take things and spin them, and the headlines will be reading, Bow Wow goes at Cash Money. This is far from that. What this is something totally different. First and foremost, let me just say this. I got so much respect for Birdman, right? A lot of respect. This is a man who took the risk on signing me.
It's all the shit you said in that letter.
We had so many ill conversations that I learned from, and that I take to heart. You know what I mean? Anytime you get a chance to be around somebody, who is as smart as he is, and who I consider a musical genius. I mean, you gotta have some type of genius genes to be able to put out the artists that he's put out over the last couple of years. And anytime you get a chance to be around a person like that, you want to learn from him.
And that's really all I do. I probably wouldn't sign.
I want to thank that man for that. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank him for that. I never had
drop some records off. I would do sign to him. It'll be for like a year. You know what I'm saying? Nothing more than a year. A project, something like that. 1 or 2 projects for a year. And just soak up the game while you're there. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why this is not one of those situations. This is a peaceful situation. What this is me waking up. What is it that you want out of your career? What do you want to do? And I got everything in pocket, and I have so much music that needs to be heard, and that wants to be heard from my
once
fans.
He left Cash Money, so obviously it wasn't Cash Money. It wasn't the problem. He left, and we still ain't heard the damn music. Don't nobody want him. He did just drop a single, and I reacted to it. I just never dropped it for some reason. I don't know why.
I wanted to make sure that when I said what I wanted to say, it was said correctly. And with that being said, I just feel like I had to part ways, y'all. I want to dictate when my music come out. I'm tired of going to the studio making records and then I listen to
put that bread.
Then they get old, you know what I mean? Then y'all ask for the music and when I put it out, I was like, I don't even want to hear it because I've been listening to it for 2 months.
Drop that song,
2 or 3 months.
You record that song, drop that song. That shit ain't gonna do nothing if you don't pay the marketing behind it and just put a lot of money behind that song. If you believe that's the one, if you believe that's the song that's gonna do it for you, you gotta put a lot of money behind it.
That has to stop, man. I got so many records, man, and they just gotta be heard. I feel like it's unfair.
Put the money behind that one.
And I just can't be held up by nobody, y'all. It's as simple as that, man. Yeah, the wheel gotta keep moving. I got a daughter, I got a family, I gotta provide.
That's basically what that is. He said he won't put it out when he won't put it out. Birdman them probably was looking at it like the shit not hitting, so we not gonna put it out. We don't even want to embarrass you like just like that with low sales and shit like that. So. I understand. It's the game, man. It's business, man. If y'all don't understand it, y'all want to talk about it, let's talk about it in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe.
Don't do it for the power, just do it for the power, just do it for the